Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Friday, July 10th, and I'm serious this time. We're getting to those questions.
Let's stop talking. Don't say a word. Let's just ask the first one.
I know, that's what I was going to say. Don't even get into any kind of review or anything. Question number one, here it is. Where is my attention going?
Well, let's maybe preface this with
I just wanted to get the question out.
Okay.
So now you can preface all you want. The first question is out there. Where is my attention going?
when we're thinking about reprioritizing our time. That's what these 4 questions pertain to. The first one is, where is my attention going? I would suggest a little audit. Watch yourself for a week. How much time do you waste doing things that don't contribute to your life? Scrolling, maybe doom scrolling, chatting with a friend, but you're both just buying time. I think it's wonderful to chat with friends. But is it a time waster in terms of you're both just not wanting to get going, so you just keep on talking? Or is it truly connection? Do an audit for a week, because you might be, and we all might be, spending time on tasks, habits, people even. I'm not talking about their inherent worth. Please hear me here. But that might not be the best use of our time. Years ago, I knew someone who gossiped horribly. Every time I would talk to them, start on a gossiping. And I typically would say, I better get going. And now I think, why didn't I just say, I don't appreciate your gossiping? I didn't do that. But this is where this question is very pertinent. Because if we're spending time listening to someone gossip, we're pretty much going along with it. We're not saying this doesn't seem appropriate to me, or this is disrespectful even. Think about and watch yourself for a week. How am I spending my time? Where is my attention going?
When we don't speak up, we may be thinking, well, we're trying to keep the peace, trying to keep everything nice and calm and
Tidy.
It does get to this point where silence is approval when you talk about something like gossip. When we don't say anything, we are giving our approval, even if we don't approve. We are encouraging it. So if someone's doing something like that, and I'm as guilty as anyone with this, I would say I want to keep the peace. That was the truth in my heart. I just want to get through this situation. It's not worth it. It's not going to lead to anything. They're probably not going to change. So why even bother saying anything? That would be the waste of time, right? But me not saying anything communicated to them and said to them, I'm approving of what you're doing right now.
Exactly. They wouldn't even know. They would just think that you were listening and probably agreeing.
Yep, that's true.
So the next question, what deserves more of me? So when you're doing this audit for a week, what people, what tasks deserve more of you?
And this question has a counterpart. What deserves less of me? Looking at this from both sides, there are going to be things in your life when you do this time audit, you're going to want to give more of your time to. And then there are also going to be parts where you can easily see, I don't want to spend as much time on that as I used to. Annette mentioned doom scrolling. If you find yourself doom scrolling, here's a hint, that probably deserves less of you. And now you have the words for it. You can catch yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Oh, here I go again. There are other places that deserve more of me. Other activities, people, even just other thoughts that deserve more of my time than what I'm doing right here. And our final question of the 4, what am I saying yes to automatically? What am I saying yes to automatically? Annette, in days gone by, yesteryears, I think you were the queen of that. But now this is where I see you have emerged. I see the happiness in your sparkling eyes. I can see it in your eyes. You're no longer having that automatic yes that you used to.
Also, we didn't have this as a question, but I also think the automatic no goes in there. So you know how much I love the Daily Calm?
Yes.
On Monday, Tamara Levitt, who does the Daily Calm, was talking about automaticity.
Automaticity? I've never heard that word before.
I hadn't either. But the meditation was about her saying no to a stranger who was really struggling, and she just automatically just went to no. And then she stopped for a moment and realized that that was out of character for her. That wasn't how she wanted to show up. When we think about how we compulsively say yes, or we can compulsively say no. Start with no, right? We've talked about that a lot on the podcast. Sometimes we will automatically say no because that's our old way of showing up. But then if we're wanting to reprioritize a specific relationship, or we want to reprioritize our health, so then we might say an automatic no to beginning a practice of walking each morning for 15 minutes, let's say. If we say automatically no to that, well, then we're not in alignment with who we're becoming, which is our theme. What am I saying yes to automatically? And then also, what am I saying no to automatically?
I would like to make a change to this question now that we've talked about it.
We've
and
been
no.
talking about these questions for 3 days and now we're changing them.
Well, just that last one.
Oh, okay.
And more so than just what am I saying yes to or no to, we could add what am I saying
Well, maybe that
automatically.
maybe that should be. Well, no, I think we want to keep with what am I saying yes to or what am I saying no to automatically, because those are the things that we are saying they don't fit us because we've created this identity about ourselves. And now we're changing that identity, or we're allowing that identity to change. So we're going to say yes and no automatically. So I want to keep that question, but you're saying maybe add another one?
Well, let's add two then. What am I saying just in general? People can just say rude things without thinking. And they're not rude people at their core. They could just not thinking and out of their mouth pops rudeness.
Or comes negativity.
Anything like that. And also, what am I doing automatically? Because people do stuff without thinking about it. They're just in a habit. They're tired, whatever their excuse may be. They're not thinking about their actions. They're not thinking about the words coming out of their mouths. And it could be hurtful to some. It could be not even the best thing for them to do for themselves.
That's a huge one. Probably we should spend some time with that next week. And the reason I think that's a big one, Ada, is because what am I doing automatically? Like, what do I do that I think I must do in order to be okay, to be safe? There can be a lot of fear when we're holding on to habits that no longer serve us. So when we're reprioritizing, we need to look at all of that. So let's add a fifth one. What am I doing automatically?
I love that. So we did get through the 4 that we promised for today. And we'll talk a little bit about that fifth one that we just made up on Monday. Until then, our intention for today and for this weekend is to reflect and ask ourselves these 4 questions. I want to give them to us all one more time. Where is my attention going? What deserves more of me? What deserves less of me? what am I saying yes or no to automatically? And then our fifth one, which we will talk more about on Monday, what am I doing automatically? Thank you so much for joining us today and this week. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you Monday.
See you then.